Retinopathy of prematurity. Prematurity was formerly called as retrolental fibroplasia. So the question can be asked either ROP, which is retinopathy of premature maturity, or retrolental fibroplasia. It is a developmental proliferative retinopathy that occurs in the premature infants due to incomplete vasculogenesis of the retina at the time of birth. This ROP has also been included in the Vision 2020 program. So one thing I want to stress here is it is a bilateral developmental proliferative retinopathy of the eye. So it involves both eye in premature infants. So infants who are born with age less than 32 weeks of gestation due to incomplete vasculogenesis of the retina at the time of birth. So those infants, those premature infants who are less than 32 weeks of gestation, they usually have immature retina. So this proliferative disorder is seen in those kind of infants. Incidence. Overall incidence is 16 to 70% of all premature infants. 68% of ROP is seen in birth weight less than 1250 gram, and 98% among those having birth weight less than 750 gram. Pathogenesis. This picture shows here normal retinal vascular development in the baby. So here vascularization of the retina begins at approximately 16 weeks of gestation at the optic nerve, and it gets completed by around 8 months at the ora serrata nasally and at ora serrata temporally at 9 months of gestational age. So this is a normal development of the normal vascularization of the retina. It starts at 16 week of gestation. It reaches nasal retina by 8 months, and it gets completed at the towards the temporal side by 9 months. So this you need to remember. Risk factors. So there are many risk factors, but at your stage, prematurity as a risk factor is important. So usually the child will have a gestational age of less than 32 weeks. Low birth weight is important, so the child is will usually have less than 1.3 kg body weight. Excessive retinal oxygenation is important. Other than that, concurrent illness, anemia, hyperglycemia, frequent blood transfusion, sepsis, mechanical ventilation, seizures, apnea, bradycardia, intraventricular hemorrhage, light exposure, ethnic or genetic predisposition. These are the other risk factors given. Now, again, I will say that three important risk factor. One is prematurity, which is less than 32 weeks of gestational age, low birth weight, which is less than 1.3 kg, and excessive retinal oxygenation after birth. So these are the three main risk factors which lead to ROP. Etiopathogenesis of ROP. So there are two theories. The first one is classical theory, and the second one is the spindle cell theory. Classical theory postulates that owing to exposure to high concentration of oxygen, there occurs obliteration of the premature retinal vessels, which is followed by neovascularization and fibrous tissue proliferation, which ultimately forms a retrolental mass. In the spindle cell theory, it postulates the induction of retinal and vitreal neovascularization by spindle cell insult in a premature retina. Classification of ROP based on zone, extent, stage, and plus disease. Now to understand ROP, we need to understand zone. So there are three zones on retina for the study of ROP: zone 1, zone 2, and zone 3. Now coming to zone 1. Zone 1. It is a circle drawn on the posterior pole with the optic disc as a center and twice the disc to macular distance as the radius. It constitutes zone 1. Any ROP in this zone is considered very severe. Zone 2. It is a circle drawn with the optic disc as a center and disc to nasal ora serrata as the radius. The area between zone 1 and this boundary constitutes zone 2. Zone 3. The temporal arc of retina left beyond the radius of zone 2 is zone 3. Extent. It divides the retinal surface into 12 segments just like the clock hours. Stage of retinopathy can vary among segments. So here in the picture you can see the retina has been divided into three zones for the purpose of the study of ROP. So one is zone 1, which is the which you can see in the center. Now this zone 1 has the radius which is from the center of the disc. It is twice of the distance from the center of the disc to the fovea. So this is zone 1. Any ROP, any sign of ROP in zone 1 is considered very serious. Zone 2 is the zone which is lying between zone 1 and zone 3. Now this is actually when a circle is drawn keeping the optic disc as a center and the other end being the ora serrata at the nasal end of the retina. This constitutes the zone 2, and any region beyond zone 2 is zone 3. So these are the three zones: zone 1, zone 2 and zone 3. Zone 1 is twice the distance from the optic disc center to the macula. Zone 2 is optic disc center to the ora serrata at the nasal end. It constitutes a circle, and beyond zone 2 is zone 3. After zones, we need to understand the stages of ROP. So as per the stages, there are 5 stages of ROP. Stage 1 is the appearance of demarcation line. Stage 2 is the appearance of the ridge. Stage 3 is the ridge with extraretinal fibrovascular proliferation into the vitreous. Stage 4A is the subtotal retinal detachment not involving macula. Stage 4B is subtotal retinal detachment involving macula, and stage 5 is total retinal detachment, which is a funnel shaped retinal detachment. So here in the picture it is shown as stage 1. You can see a demarcation line. It is a flat, thin, whitish, clear-cut demarcation between the vascularized and the avascular retina. So posterior to this line, the retina is vascularized with normal vessels. You can see here the normal vessels, the arcades as seen here, superior and inferior nasal arcades. And beyond this, anterior to this demarcation line, the retina is avascular. So this is called a stage of demarcation line. So the stage 2, elevated ridge. It is a stage of ridge formation. So demarcation line has 3D appearance and extends anteriorly from the retinal plane as a ridge into the vitreous. So this is called stage 2. Stage 1 was a demarcation line. Stage 2 is the stage of ridge formation. Stage 3 is the stage of neovascularization, or a ridge with extraretinal fibrovascular proliferation into the vitreous. So here there is a neovascularization. Extraretinal fibrovascular tissue begins to grow on the top of the ridge or posterior to the ridge and extends into the vitreous. Popcorn lesion. So you can see here in the picture there is a ridge, and at the ridge you will see small, very fine vessels. Small arrow is marked, which is not very clear, but if you see carefully there are small vessels, small neovascular tissue here, and this stage is called stage 3 of the ROP. This is stage 4, which is partial retinal detachment. It is subdivided into 4A and 4B. 4A is extrafoveal, 4B is foveal. So subtotal retinal detachment not involving macula is 4A stage. Subtotal retinal detachment involving the macula is stage 4B. Stage 5 is total retinal detachment. It is open funnel shape, open narrow funnel, narrow open. So all these are not important for you. Just remember it's a stage 5 is a total RD. So total RD will have a funnel shape. So these are the various stages of the ROP. So we have dealt with zones on the retina, and we have dealt with the stages of the ROP. Pre-plus disease. So vascular tortuosity and dilatation of posterior pole that are insufficient for diagnosis of plus disease. Diagnosis of pre-plus disease has a prognostic value. Plus disease in ROP. So what is the significance of plus disease? It indicates progression of ROP. So plus disease, it refers to presence of tortuous dilated vessels at the posterior pole with any stage of ROP. So basically, presence of tortuous dilated vessels at the posterior pole is what we call as plus disease. It is associated with the engorgement and dilatation of the iris vessels, resulting in poor pharmacological dilation of the pupil. And presence of plus disease means progression of ROP. Pre-threshold disease in ROP. Now, when there is a pre-threshold disease in ROP, we need to do observation because it has a tendency to progress to threshold disease in ROP. So, what are the criteria of the pre-threshold disease? It is involvement of zone 1 any stage, or zone 2 stage 2 with plus component, or zone 2 or 3 with stage 3 with plus component but not reaching threshold clock hours. So these are the definition of the pre-threshold disease. If there is a component of a pre-threshold disease, it means we need to observe the patient, we need to observe the infant because it has a tendency to progress. Threshold disease in ROP. Threshold disease means it needs treatment. Treatment in the form of either laser or cryotherapy in less than 72 hours. So, threshold disease refers to stage 3 plus disease involving 5 continuous or 8 discontinuous clock hours. Differential diagnosis of ROP. Basically, it is a differential diagnosis of leukocoria, and with leukocoria, pseudoglioma is also important. So, differential diagnosis of leukocoria are congenital cataract, ROP, retinoblastoma, Coats disease, persistent hyperplastic primary vitreous, um, then retinochoroidal coloboma. These are the differential diagnosis which is very important and which you should know. Prophylaxis of ROP. Oxygen concentration in the incubator for the premature infant should not be more than 30%. Attack of apnea and infection should be prevented in premature babies. All premature babies born at less than or equal to 32 weeks of gestational age and those weighing 1500 gram or less should be screened for ROP. So regular screening of premature infants born before or equal to 32 weeks and less than 1.5 kg should be done. The first examination by indirect ophthalmoscopy should be done between 6 and 7 weeks postnatal age or 34 weeks post-conceptual age, whichever is earlier. Management of ROP. It depends on the vascular maturity of the retina. So what is the definition of mature retina? Mature retina is labeled when the vessels have reached within one disc diameter of both nasal and temporal ora serrata. So if the retina is mature, nothing needs to be done. We don't even need to follow up. Immature retina. It is labeled when the vessels are short of one disc diameter of the nasal or temporal ora, but ROP is not developed yet. Such infants require further follow-up weekly. So immature retina, premature premature babies with immature retina should be followed up weekly. Retinopathy of prematurity when ROP is detected. So when ROP is detected, following measures should be taken. Stage 1 and 2. Stage 1 and 2, which is basically stage of demarcation line and stage of ridge formation, it tends to spontaneously regress in 80 to 90% of cases. So only a weekly examination is recommended. Stage 3. Threshold disease should be treated by cryo or laser to prevent progression and to achieve regression. Stage 4A. which is basically subtotal retinal detachment not involving the macula. In such cases, scleral buckling is recommended in addition to cryo or laser therapy. Stage 4B is basically subtotal retinal, retinal detachment with the involvement of macula, and 5 is total retinal detachment. So, in these cases, vitrectomy needs to be carried out and the prognosis is poor. So, indications of treatment. Cryo-ROP study. Treat threshold disease of ROP. So what is the definition of threshold disease of ROP? Stage 1, stage 3 ROP in zone 1 or zone 2. So this means that stage of neovascularization. Stage 1 is stage of demarcation line. Stage 2 is a ridge formation. Stage 3 is a neovascularization of the ridge. So stage 3 ROP, when it is present in zone 1 or zone 2, and if it involves 5 or more clock hours or 8 clock hours total, either it should be a continuous adjacent 5 clock hours, or it can be uh, different clock hours. If you just add them together, it should be 8 cumulative clock hours. And third is the presence of plus disease, which is arteriolar tortuosity and venous dilatation at the posterior pole. So if these three criteria are present, it means it is a stage of threshold disease of ROP, which means that it is prone to retinal detachment and it needs urgent treatment. So this is called threshold disease of ROP. So here in the picture you can see in the right eye, there is a new vascularization in the zone 2, and if you take up the clock hours, it will be around 8 clock hours, the degree of neovascularization in zone 2, and it is a non-contiguous clock hour. They are not continuous. So if you add these all clock hours, it will be about eight non-contiguous clock hour in the right eye. If you see the left eye, we can see there is a continuous neovascularization in zone 2, and if you add up all the clock hours, these continuous clock hours will be somewhere around five continuous clock hours of neovascularization. So this is a threshold disease and it needs urgent treatment in the form of either laser or cryo. So ETROP study. Here they have divided it into two, type 1, type 2. Type 1 is a high risk pre-threshold ROP. Type 2 is a low risk pre-threshold ROP. Now again I would like to stress, threshold ROP means this is ROP is going to progress and leading to retinal detachment. So high risk pre-threshold ROP is zone 1 involvement with any stage with plus disease. 2. Zone 1 ROP with stage 3 means neovascularization without plus disease. So here neovascularization is present in zone 1. Zone 2 ROP, stage 2 or 3 with plus disease. So this becomes the high risk pre-threshold ROP. Type 2 or low risk pre-threshold ROP is zone 1, stage 1 or 2 without plus disease, zone 2, stage 3 without plus disease. Now type 1 ROP should be treated promptly within 72 hours of diagnosis. Treatment modality available. Principle: to remove the stimulus VEGF for growth of new blood vessels by ablating the peripheral avascular retina. Now avascular retina is source of VEGF. If we destroy the avascular retina, the source, that VEGF production will stop and further neovascularization will not take place. So what are the modalities that we use? One is cryotherapy, which can be used. Then laser photocoagulation, standard, which is a standard treatment. And third is surgical interventions, wherein we do scleral buckling or vitrectomy. At your level, you just need to know the name of cryotherapy. Here in the picture, cryotherapy is being done. You can see the spots, cryo spots. So it can be done either transscleral or it can be transconjunctival. Laser photocoagulation is the main modality for treatment. It is less invasive, less traumatic to the eye, causes less discomfort to the infant, easy to apply in the posteriorly located disease. Both argon green and diode red wavelength laser can be delivered through an indirect ophthalmoscope. Aim: near confluent ablation of peripheral avascular retina with burn spaced 1/2 burn width apart from ora serrata up to the ridge for 360-degree. Complications: corneal burn, hazy iris burn, cataract, burns of tunica vascular lentis causing hemorrhage. So at your stage, you just need to know laser photocoagulation can be done. This picture is showing here, you can see in the first picture there's a ridge-like structure. Neovascularization is not very evident, but would be there. And just anterior to this ridge, there is an area of avascular retina. So this avascular retina is a source of VEGF, which is leading to neovascularization on the retina, which is not normal. So we need to ablate that avascular retina. So here in the second picture, you can see the picture after laser has been done. So here photocoagulation has been done. Surgical intervention is done for stage 4 ROP, where subtotal retinal detachment has started. So, scleral buckling or lens sparing vitrectomy are indicated for stage 4 ROP. Lens sacrificing vitrectomy for stage 5 ROP. Current trends in ROP treatment. So, anti-VEGF treatment is given. It can be given as a monotherapy, single injection, or multiple injections can be repeated. It can be used as adjunctive therapy to the laser for recurrent ROP, anti-VEGF as a bridge to laser peripherally, treatment after laser or cryotherapy failure. It can be used perioperatively before surgery in order to reduce bleeding, promote regression of neovascularization, vitrectomy, and scleral buckles. Long-term complications of ROP. 70% became myopic due to macular heterotopia, temporal macular drag, and straitened blood vessels, curvature myopia, stigmatism more than 2 diopter if uncorrected leads to amblyopia, strabismus in 20% cases, late onset RD in 25% cases, cataract in 83% cases, glaucoma and exudative retinopathy is seen. Advances. RedCam is a handheld fiber optic camera which can quickly and safely scan a premature infant's eye in about 5 minutes. It is used to diagnose a case of ROP. So just remember RedCam is a new modality to diagnose a case of ROP. Telescreening. Now, telescreening mainly deals with taking pictures of the fundus of premature babies in some peripheral areas where they don't have access to a good ophthalmic center. So the fundus picture is taken with the help of RedCam by trained nurses or technicians, and they send those pictures to the doctors who interpret them and decide the protocol of management. The protocol of management. So this helps to reduce the blindness in the areas which are not that advanced. Conclusion. Ultimate prevention is prevent premature birth. Role of vascular endothelial growth factor and IGF-1 may lead to pharmacological interventions in preventing the progression. Evidence-based data reshape our understanding of who to screen and determines the critical timing of treatment. Surgical intervention preserves vision in ROP related retinal detachment, especially before macular detachment. Thank you.